What's up guys, Nate here. Today we are back in the garage for a couple more videos. We're going to do some videos on the Escort here, and today what we're going to be doing on the Escort is actually trying to fix the air conditioning. If you guys maybe checked out some of my other videos, especially on the Escort, you'll know that the Escort's air conditioning went out last summer, and the reason for that is this right here. This, if it can focus, is called the BCM, the body control module. And what this includes inside of it is basically all the relays inside of the car. So this includes the relay for the compressor for the air conditioning. It includes, I think, the fuel pump relay and some of the ignition stuff. So basically, what happens on a ton of these Escorts is that the relay for the compressor for the air conditioning goes out. And what we ended up doing is I brought it to a shop last year, thinking it was just the compressor that went out. It actually turned out to be the control module there. And the shop that I brought it to, I really wasn't happy with them. They gave me a quote to replace that of $300. And at that time I said, there's absolutely no way I'm paying $300 to get that fixed. First of all, I didn't even know what it was, so I said, you know, I want to go home and research it to see if maybe I can buy it and do it myself. And I went ahead, looked it up, and sure enough, that right there only costs $80. So that was unbelievable. You know, basically they wanted over $200 for just labor, and this isn't even that hard to do. So if you guys own a 99 Escort or, you know, something around that year, basically all you have to do, and I've already done it, is remove the air filter box here. So this is basically just the part that clamps onto the air filter. And I went ahead and removed the 3 bolts for the cleaner itself here. You got one there, and then one up front right here. And I went ahead and removed those bolts so that I can actually move this. Now, if you guys are really, you know, if you want to go ahead and do it, you can pull off the vacuum line, which is right here. And you should be able to pull this whole thing out. It actually goes into the fender there. And that will allow you to basically get this whole thing out of the way, because it is, unfortunately, right underneath that. And for some reason, I can't seem to get mine out. It's not the vacuum line. It just doesn't seem to want to come out of the fender. And I can pretty much get to it without pulling this out. So I figured, you know, I might as well just leave it in there and not screw with it. So if I get my flashlight out here, if I can figure out where I left it, you could be able to see the 2 screws that you need to undo on the BCM. You'll have to excuse me, my battery on my flashlight's going out. But there's one right behind this, so you can see right down there, right about, if I can try to get my finger on the flashlight here, right down there where my finger is, there's a bolt right there. It's the tiniest thing, and I believe it's actually a 7/32. Yep, 7/32. So I have my little ratchet and my long extension there to get to it. And then there's also one up front here, right under the filter. See that right down there. And basically all you should have to do is go ahead, pull those 2 bolts out, and the BCM should come out. And then it looks like there's a screw holding the plug on there. So basically all the wires and the big black plug there unplugs, and you should just be able to plug the new one in, bolt it back together, put the air filter back together, and should go ahead and fix that for you. Now, the one thing that does worry me a little bit about this is that the part number on mine, which, by the way, you may need to find the part number on it, which is right on top there. You can see where the barcode is, and unfortunately you will have to take the air filter apart to actually see that. But what worries me a little bit is that my part number was not on the one that I ordered, and I went ahead and ordered mine off of Napa, off of their website, and then had it shipped to one of the stores around me. But usually I order all my stuff on rockauto.com, but unfortunately their website was having some problems lately, and I wasn't able to order it through them. Rock Auto actually did have my specific part number, but unfortunately I just didn't have time to screw around with the website and everything, so I went ahead, called up Napa, and got one in. So hopefully it works. I mean, it has the alternative part numbers for it, but it doesn't have this specific part number. And I think it'll work just because, you know, specifically it has a lot of the alternative part numbers, and also it's a 99 Escort ZX2. So I don't see why that should be a problem. Hopefully it's not, and I don't put this all back together and then have no fuel pump. One of the problems that I'm having right now is that the bolts for the BCM are actually rusted in there really tight. So I got some WD-40 here. This is actually the rust penetrant one. It seems to be working pretty well. I already got one of them to budge on me. That one in the back actually came loose. The one up front here is being a little bit stubborn, and it's not really wanting to budge. So gonna have to give it a little persuasion, and hopefully we don't bust this bolt, because I don't think I'm gonna be able to find a replacement that's small. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this thing out, get the new one in, and once I get everything put back together, I'll post another or get another video going here, and we'll see if it worked. So I got everything back here basically hooked up temporarily. I don't have the air filter bolted in yet. I want to make sure that everything works before, of course, I bolt everything in. But the air filter is clamped on the new BCM. This is also called the CCRM in some cases, so just wanted to point that out. You can see it with all the wires right there is plugged in. Basically, you just undo the 2 corner screws, and then you'll notice there is that bolt right there that basically screws into it for the clamp, for all the, the plug basically. So you unscrew that, and it'll start, basically pulling itself away from the actual BCM. Then you can separate it, put the new one on, screw it back in, and then basically just bolt it right back in. It's just that simple. So I'm going to go in right now and go ahead and see if the car will start. Also, for this, I did disconnect the battery just to be safe. I didn't want to go ahead and, find out I'm going to fry the car. So let's go ahead and see if it'll start. I hear a fuel pump. Look at that. All right, so the car runs. So now I already have the air just on, for regular. I got the fan on low. Let's see if when we turn the air conditioning on. Let me hop up under here and see. Okay, so right now we have a minor issue. I'm not sure if it's an issue or if this is just normal, but what I am noticing is when I turn the air conditioning on, I got in here, and way down there, you can see, if I get my finger there, right there, that right there is the compressor for the air conditioning with the big 4 bolts on it. Now what is happening is when I have the air conditioning on, either just on regular or there is a max air conditioning on the knob, when I turn it on either, it'll turn on, stay on for about a second, and then turn off, and then a second later come back on. So I'm not sure if that's normal. I don't think that's normal. I really don't know that much about air conditioning, but I would assume something is still up with that. But what is happening now is I do, however, I have air conditioning now. Before, in order to get it to actually kick on, I'd have to go under the hood and actually tap the CCRM, the BCM, whatever it is called, with a screwdriver, and it would kick on and then go back off. But now it's actually going on and then off and on and off. So really, I don't know right now if that's just because that's a wrong part number, maybe the relays are different, or if that's the way it's supposed to be. I'm going to go home right now and actually go do some research. The car still runs fine as far as I can tell. The only thing is the idle is, goes back and forth when the compressor kicks on. So I'm not sure if this is normal or not. I don't think that's normal. I don't think the compressor is supposed to go on and then back off again. But I may be completely stupid here, and that may be correct. So I'm going to go home, do some research, and I will get back to you guys. Alright guys, so hopefully you can hear me okay, because I will be driving with the windows down, because I think I found the problem. I'm not 100% sure, but usually what happens with Ford specifically, and pretty much all other car brands, is that if your car is low on Freon, that'll happen. It'll basically kick the compressor on, and then it'll eventually kick it back off. So I'm pretty sure that the car is basically just low on Freon. So we are going to AutoZone right now to go ahead and pick up a air conditioning recharge, and hopefully that'll fix the problem. Because what I'm worried about is that when I ordered this part, as I said, it basically was not the exact same part number. So I'm hoping that this is the right BCM, and that it's not the wrong part. And basically right now I'm hopefully not frying my car, because as I said, this does include some ignition stuff and a fuel pump relay and stuff like that. I don't think that if this is the wrong one it would fry anything in the car. So we're gonna find out though. As I said, I am going to AutoZone right now. I'm going to pick up a basically recharge for air conditioning. Basically, any auto place should have it. AutoZone, O'Reilly's, pretty much any place. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go home and hopefully that'll fix it, because, like I said, today is actually the 1-year anniversary that the air conditioning in my car went out. So hopefully it's just because of over time of not using it. It's basically just drained the Freon or something like that. That's what I'm going with. I'm hoping it's not the wrong BCM. I don't have to take this all back apart again order the right part from Rock Auto because I can't order it on their website. So hopefully this is just a problem and I'll be able to get it fixed. So I'll meet you guys back at the garage with the Freon and hopefully we'll get it fixed. Alright guys, so long story short, we did get the problem fixed. The problem was, after all, that the Freon was low. So I went to AutoZone, picked up a AC recharge. I got one of the big bottles, so it was about 40 bucks. In fact, I think it was 40 bucks on the button. So, you know, pretty inexpensive. And now the compressor is staying on constantly, as you may be able to tell. You know, it's not going on and off and on and off. So that fixed it. I have cold air coming out of the vents now, so that is awesome, especially because in Ohio here it's supposed to get a little bit warmer here in the next couple weeks. So that's AA+ in my book. And it does appear that the BCM was in fact still broken, because before, in order to actually get it to even do that, you need to tap it with a screwdriver, which in my mind assumes, you know, that maybe, you know, one of the relay prongs was broken off or something. So when you hit it, it clicked it back, you know, and made contact. So anyway, that is going to pretty much wrap it up for this video. So hopefully you guys did kind of get an idea on how to do this if you guys are, you know, looking into it. Yeah, I mean, if you guys have a 90s Ford Escort, you know, and your air conditioning isn't working, go ahead and, you know, try tapping the CCRM and the BCM, whatever you call it, with a screwdriver. And if the compressor kicks on and off, you know, that's the problem. And, you know, it really is a pretty inexpensive fix. I think if you return the old one for the cord charge, it was like 80 bucks. So, and I got mine from Napa. You can order it off of Rock Auto. They're a little more expensive on Rock Auto, but got no problems with it. So I think that's going to do it, guys. So make sure you go ahead and like this video, and go ahead and comment if you have any questions or comments. I'll be glad to answer them. And definitely go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see. Thanks, guys.